Hi, everybody. This is Jimmy D coming to you from Marana, Arizona with a simple solution to a painful problem. So, I think everybody around the world probably knows that in Texas we had another school shooting this past week. And of course, the politicians are now up in arms arguing for their cause and not necessarily solving the problem. On one side, we've got one group that, of course, has argued before to repeal the Second Amendment. It's outdated. We don't know why it's there. It's crazy. It's stupid. You shouldn't be killing Bambi. And they got some of them on that side, such as Biden, or at least when people tell him what to think, who argues for modifications, laws, etc., such as waiting periods and registration, etc., etc. You got the other side who is saying, from my cold dead hands, you're not getting it. And they're saying the problem is people. Guns don't kill, people kill. It's true. And they're saying we need more God, we need more people to have more love, etc., etc. Okay, so here we go. We got the green-haired people over here, and we got the gun-toting people over here, and they're already out marching. So let's take it one thing at a time. Second Amendment, you're not getting it. You're not repealing it. I'm sorry. How would you even get something repealed to repeal 300 million guns from about a third of the citizens in this country? They're not going to let you take it. Let's examine why. Number one is because they got guns. Number two, why does it exist? Why do we need it? It's outdated, right? Wrong. The guns were put in place so that the people can keep the government under control and manage a tyrannical government. Okay, why would we need to do that? Because we've got the vote, right? That's sacred right. Well, number one, you don't even get to pick the candidates. Candidates are hand selected by the machine. You get no choice. You get two people. And every year I hear people do one of the things that I hate the most. Oh, I just wish we had somebody better to choose from. Well, the process, you've got a two-party system and they're hand-picking it because everybody's fighting for their cause. So forget the vote. Come on. Number two, I don't trust the vote. Do you? Do you really think we know elections in other corrupt socialist countries have been fixed? We know it. And I know what you're thinking. That would never happen here. Wink. The vote isn't, it's a sacred right, but we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic, and the Constitution protects the individual from the mob. Let me give you an example of what a democracy is. A democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. I think that sheep is going to lose twice. So let's forget, you're not repealing the Second Amendment. Let's talk about simple laws around the Second Amendment. Seems reasonable, right? Here's my only issue with that. I don't want the fox to manage the hen house. If the primary reason for the right to keep and bear arms is to protect and hold the government accountable, protect us from and hold the government accountable, why would I put them in charge of it? They guaranteed that right to the individual. So I'm not signing up for a federal mandate for waiting periods and, your record gets looked at and reviewed, blah, blah. I'm not signing up for that. So you better get more creative, Dems. Let's talk about the other side. The get God in your life and people are bad, etc., etc. I agree. I mean, let's face it. If somebody beats someone to death with a baseball bat, you can't outlaw baseball or even bats. So how in the world? And by the way, we need more love, or people kill people. Makes for a great meme. You'll get probably 50 likes. It doesn't solve the problem. So how are we going to solve the problem? First, you have to identify what the problem is. In my opinion here, The Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms or not have that right, is a cause. You're trying to change a country, the foundation of a country. That's not the problem. That's a vision. That's a cause. The problem is that you got people going in and out of schools with no controls. And I don't understand it. Government buildings are all secured and protected. You've got metal detectors, you've got cameras, you've got an armed guard or more than one. You've got security systems that record everything going on at every checkpoint. Somebody should be monitoring them, and they're stored in the cloud. Tons of security to protect those monkeys in Washington from the people. So why don't kids get that protection? And it's not that expensive. We just sent $44 billion to the Ukraine. Divide that by the number of public schools in this country, and you got over $100,000 per school to work with. Come on. Okay, so let's secure the schools. One door in and out. Implement everything I said is in a government building. Speaking of, it's not just government. Go to Google. Go to Apple headquarters, Microsoft. You name it, folks. I'll guarantee you that you are going to be checked up and down before you get into that building. They're going to know you're there. They're going to monitor what you do inside the building. And if you have a weapon, you're not getting in. So why not? I'll tell you why not. Government doesn't solve problems because they can't identify problems. Government is two groups who have their cause. And they will ignore the protection, the rights, the freedom of these kids, and they'll fight for their cause. Just solve the problem. This is Jimmy D. This is what I do. I solve problems with common sense, truth, facts, and logic. I invite you to make a comment down there. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I can take it. I've been wrong before. Just not that often. All right, folks. Thank you. Have fun.